Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today I'm going to tie a budding hare's ear. The hook that I have in the vise is the Lively Legs lip splitters. This is number 475, size 14. This is a Nymph, 1 extra strong, 3 extra long bronze hook. It has a small barb on it, so you might want to crush that barb down. The bead that I have on is a 2.5mm gold tungsten bead, and you can get that from the Lively Legs crew also. I'm just going to use some tan thread. The color thread doesn't really matter, you're not going to see any of it. We're going to start by putting a base of thread down. Here is a very good fly. And we're going to put some budding wing case on it. Good pattern. The Prince Nymph is a killer pattern, and I think it's mostly because of them budding wings. So we have it at the tail there. I'm going to go ahead and put the tail in first, and I'm going to use, these are a gray Goose Biot. I'm going to take 2 of those, and when we tie these on, we're going to use the natural curve. We're going to put the convex side to the shank. That natural curve will help keep them divided. We want those wings, the tail, to be about half the length of the hook shank. So go ahead and tie this in. And these Goose Biots I took off a wing or a wing feather of snow geese that someone shot and gave me a couple of wings. And I'm going to take the other one, and using the same convex side to the shank. And when I size this up, I don't have to worry about the back part. I'm going to make the front part the same length as the previous one. And because I took them both off at the same time and the same place, they're going to be even in length. And there's the tail. Going to wrap these up, and I know they're a little bit long, so I'm going to have to trim them. If they're short and they don't go all the way to the bead, I just wrap them in. It's like this top one there. If you don't have to cut, why cut? And we'll bring our thread back. Now I'm going to take, this is a number 16 tinsel, and this is a gold ribbed hare's ear, so I'm going to tie it in. This is a gold and silver tinsel. I'm going to tie it in so I can see the silver, and the gold is going to be to the hook shank. And then when I wrap it, you're going to see the gold. Just give that a few securing wraps. Going to take my dubbing wax or my wax from Streamside Leaders, and I'm going to wax my thread because hare's ear material is very dry and it's a little harder to dub. And I'm going to take my hare's ear material, you can see how dry it looks. Going to put on small amounts at a time. Get a nice tight little noodle here. Remember, you can always add more. It's okay if it gets a little bit thicker towards the end part, because that thorax, we kind of want that abdomen to be tapered. And I'm going to go ahead and wind this and see how far I could get. And don't worry if it doesn't actually make a taper for you, because even if you had a taper, when you go and wrap your rib, it's going to squash it. Gonna put a little bit more on there. I want to get another wrap or so out of it before I hit that thorax area. I'm going to take my rib and I'm going to pull that pretty tight on there, and then you can see it's gold. And I'm going to bring that right up, and we're going to tie that off. Pull it back, wrap over it again, and that will ensure that that rib won't come off. Now I'm going to wrap the thorax, and the thorax I'm going to want to make that a little bit fatter. I'm going to take my dubbing material. I'm going to wrap this tight. I'm going to probably put 2 noodles on it. Okay, get a couple of those guard hairs, pull them out. Not a real big deal, I'll work with it. Gonna put another little noodle, or put another noodle on there. This is a good example of you can always add more. I'm just pinching it small amounts now because I don't want to get too much on there. Yeah, put that little pinch back in the bag. Yep, got that loose one. And I'm going to wrap that. Got a nice fat thorax there now. Get that thread nice and tight underneath under the bead there. Now for the legs, I'm going to use a ginger hackle. This is an Indian hackle that I've had for years, and this is a Cree. I'm going to use this for the legs, and we got different color at the bottom there, so I'm going to peel that down. Only going to get two to three wraps out of this. Give it a little bit of a haircut there. Drop my scissors. I'm going to put my hackle pliers on that, and I'm going to pull the hackles to one side, and we're going to wrap this. I had a big haircut on that one, so that first wrap didn't shoot to the back, although it really doesn't matter when you're making this, when you're doing it on a nymph, because you want them to go towards the back. But it's good to stay in practice of doing that step with that hackle. Keeps you from getting lazy on a dry fly hackle. Peel that off. Now I'm going to hold everything to the back, and I'm just going to go 1 or 2 thread turns to the back just to get that to lay down. And now for the budding wings, I'm going to use the same gray Goose Biots. I'm going to pull 2. Use that, keep that concave side to the hook shank. And we want that wing to go just to the tip of the body. And you want to get that Goose Biot to pull down inside that bead. Now I'm going to size it by keeping these both the same length, because the Biots are the same length, so the back will be the same length without any trouble. I'm going to fold them back and put a couple of wraps right on top of them. Now I'm going to take my scissors and very carefully lift just the part that you want to cut off. I've cut wings off before. There we go. Now I'm going to add a little bit more dubbing on there, but before I do that, trim that off, I'm going to take my head cement and I'm going to put a drop of head cement right on the X. Right on the X of the wings. Right there, right on the X. Now we'll just take a small amount of the hare's ear once again. We just want to put enough on there to hide the thread wraps. I think it actually adds a nice finish to it. Instead of the wings coming out of the head, it makes it look like the wings are coming out of the wing pads like they should be. Take my whip finish. Get that right down inside there. Pull that kind of tight. Tug that in there snug. And we'll trim off that thread. Give it a quick inspection there. And we can see legs as it's going all the way around. And just pull those apart there a little bit. The fish aren't going to really care if they're not split real far. But here we have a budding hare's ear. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors, leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to buy this fly or any of the flies that I make, go to my Etsy page at etsy.com/shop/theflymanjim. And I will help you out. If you don't see it there, just send me a message and we'll figure something out. Thank you very much for watching my videos.